It is now 19:05, so I will kick off the session for this evening. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Thank you so much for your comments in the chat. Good evening, good afternoon, good day to everyone, wherever you are joining from in the world. We will be doing a presentation on the Lumi Digital Currency and how we as Africans and African descendants or people of African descent can benefit from this digital currency revolution. I will be handing over to Moa to do the presentation tonight. And if you have any questions, comments, please feel free to use the chat functionality to capture any questions or comments you might have. At the end of the session, we will do announcements and acknowledgements as well as answer any questions that are impending. I note all the questions that have been highlighted in the chat, and we will get to them in due course. Without any further ado, I'll hand over to you, Moa, to start the presentation tonight.
Thank you, Lerato, and good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everyone joining us. We appreciate your presence. I hope my screen is up and am I up, Lerato? Yeah, thank you. We are going to be introducing Lumi Digital Currency to Africa or Africans and the diaspora. And this is transitioning into taking a form of a summit, hence comments made by Lerato earlier on. We will start by talking about briefly ECO6 formation, Africa's debt campaign led by Queen Sheba III to eradicate it, Lumi Digital Currency, the agreement of Free Trade Africa and Africa's development. Will also start showcasing those selling in Lumi. Eswatini is an example we have, and Q&A answers, and as well as discussions and announcement. Let's kick off. African Union's Economic Regional Communities establishment commenced in 1991 through the Abuja Treaty under the Organization of African Unity, when 5 regional economic communities were established. And in August 2019, an important community was also formed under the auspices of African Union, composed of economic communities, the community of states, nations, territories, and realms of the African diaspora, alternatively known as ECO6 or the 6th region. It is composed of 300 million people and including over 6,000 indigenous communities that are spread across the Americas. And these are people who left Africa through the enslavement trade. They didn't leave Africa as slaves. They were never slaves. They were enslaved. And these are people who are also those who left Africa through other means. For instance, those who went out to look for opportunities, studies, asylums, and so on and so forth. In March 2018, another agreement by heads of states was put in place, the African Continental Free Trade Area. This agreement happened in Kigali and Rwanda. This was aimed at enabling Africa to trade with itself. Now, moving forward, this means that Africa has got 6 regional economic communities, and tonight we'll be focusing on a project that is championed and led by the ECO6 together with SOAD, and we will just elaborate briefly on that. The first important intro is that Africa's time is now, and the next slides tell us of a great reset opportunity as led by ECO6 under His Royal Highness Chief Timothy McPherson, State of the African Diaspora under Prime Minister Dr. Louis Georgestin, and African Kingdoms Federation under Queen Sheba III, Her Imperial Majesty. Now, His Royal Highness Chief Timothy McPherson on the left, seen there with the leader of African Union, Deputy Chairman, His Excellency Kwate, and the head of the State of African Diaspora, Dr. Louis Georgestin, who is the Prime Minister, as well as the head of Secretariat. And the third institution is led by Her Imperial Majesty Queen Sheba III, who's had an interview on SABC Channel 44. We are happy to share these slides, or rather these links with you to just listen to those interviews.
No audio.
We apologize. There is no audio, and I see why there is no audio. Let's please try it again. Our sun. It has been burning for over 4.5 billion years, and yet it is still less than halfway through its life. Worshipped by many civilizations and religions, it is the enabler and sustainer of all life on our world. The great continent of Africa. Truly, it is the cradle of life on our planet, and today it is home to many people and cultures. Bathed in sunlight, its jungles, deserts, mountains and plains have given rise to, and support, a rich diversity of wildlife. Africa is also rich in precious metals, minerals and agricultural resources, which have given rise to the wealth of industries and nations. But this wealth has not been wholly to the benefit of the nations of Africa, as this excerpt, from a speech by Malance Bart Williams, from Sierra Leone, suggests. One thing that keeps me puzzled, despite having studied finance and economics at the world's best universities, the following question remains unanswered. Why is it that 5,000 units of our currency is worth 1 unit of your currency, where we are the ones with the actual gold reserves? With all its mineral wealth, plus the abundance of daily sunlight, Africa has the ability to become an economic powerhouse. And this starts with creating a unifying, global non-fiat currency, one with real intrinsic value. Introducing the African Kingdom's Lumi, a non-fiat digital currency that is underwritten by an established unit value, equating to 100 kilowatt-hours of solar energy, at a market value equal to 0.2592 grams of gold, which equates to $15.96 per AK Lumi. The AK Lumi is classic money with the following features. 1. It is a store of value. 2. It is a unit of account. And 3. It is a medium of exchange. It is interesting to note that the most valuable currencies in the world are not the US dollar or the euro, but the Kuwaiti dinar, the Bahraini dinar, and the Omani riyal. This is because these semi-fiat currencies are underpinned by a correlation between their monetary policies and their hydrocarbon-based economies. The AK Lumi, being underpinned by gold and/or renewable solar energy, thus abandons the fiat currency system altogether and establishes its value as a premium currency on the global market, whilst restoring real value to African monetary policy. On the 1st of August 2019, the Economic Community of States, Nations, Territories and Realms of the African Diaspora 6th Region, or ECO6, was established by treaty and ratified by its member states. The ECO6 has become the second largest African institution in the world, after the African Union. The establishment of the ECO6 enables the African diaspora community to actively participate in the economic transformation, trade integration, and emancipation of continental Africa at a global level. The introduction of the AK Lumi as a single global African currency will stimulate unprecedented economic growth and the elimination of debt. As of April 2021, the AK Lumi was being used in some 142 countries, and by the beginning of 2022, it is expected that the adoption and use of the digital currency will become global. The AK Lumi will not only unite Africans across the continent and throughout the diaspora, but will also give them the financial freedom and respect that has been unrighteously usurped for too long. The economic revolution has already begun, and it will ultimately foster enhancements in business, international trade, employment, quality of life, education, health services, technology, communications and transportation.
And so the goal of a prosperous Africa, built by Africans, for Africans, can finally be realized. The African kingdoms Lumi, bringing unity, self-determination, financial freedom, growth, prosperity, and the elimination of debt to all people of Africa.
We have just watched the most powerful message of what Lumi is an enabler for, which is Africa's development. And just briefly on this slide, is Lumi a digital currency? Is it a crypto or a fiat? And what we quickly want to distinguish is that central bank fiat money versus non-fiat money has got the following definitions. That fiat money is government issued currency, a medium of exchange that is not having any backing by any commodities such as gold, silver, energy, and has absolutely no real intrinsic value. An example, rand and various others, Malangeni in Eswatini, Naira in Nigeria, and so on. But the definition of a non-fiat money is money that has got three primary functions. There is a medium of exchange, a unit of account, a store of value, which Lumi fits the second one. It's non-fiat, it's digital, and issued by a central bank of the African diaspora. Now, we should not ignore digital currency. Let's grab it while Sword and Eco6 issues it for free. Wall Street banks, for instance, are bracing for digital dollars as the next big disruptive force. And here in South Africa, Reserve Bank is already thinking deeply about creating a digital rand. And other developments are that, in fact, this is in a war. Bit Caribe tells us digital currency war, which is defining what is happening now. If you look at the left, South Korea is said to have lost a bit of ground in terms of playing in this space, while Ghana, as an example, is considering its digital credit, and Mauritius and various other countries have already entered into this space. Now, this is for this reason that Africans need to be invited to appreciate and support Lumi, because Lumi is African, African owned, African issued, meant for Africa's development. It is for that reason that we are inviting all Africans and African owned enterprises in the continent and as well as in the diaspora, 18 years and above, to freely register for an account on Swift platform. It is free of charge for individuals and for enterprises, and you qualify to receive 6.2 Lumi after you have registered each month on the 28th until October 2023. There's an additional support that is financial in a form of credit amounting to an equivalent of 10,000 US dollars. And this is for businesses and for those who have registered as merchants. And importantly, linked with this is an online marketplace that has got vast capacity to provide all the necessities that we have, and importantly, a campaign to also localize these particular marketplaces. Now, let us listen to experiences of those already in this space.
I want to tell you a little bit about my experiences with the Lumi. I registered October, November, December, January, and today I got my stimulus for February. And so I have all of that money accumulated in my virtual wallet. That's the equivalent of 500 US dollars in Lumi, the best currency in the world.
Now, how to register myself?
Okay, so the registration process is an easy and a simple one. You can go onto iStore or Play Store, whether you're an iOS or Android user, and download the Eco6 Lumi application that is with that icon, the green horn on the gold background. And you can then, after you have downloaded, register. Else, you can go on your laptop, computer type of device and go to the URL platform.swifin.com. At the top right, you will see the register button and then you can register yourself. We recommend that prior to doing the registration, you have certain documentation in place. Your ID document, take a picture of the front of your ID card, a selfie with the front of your ID card and the back of the ID card. If you have an ID book, the front of the ID card means the details page of your ID book, and the back means the front cover of the ID book where it states the country of issue. You will need to select during the registration process whether you are registering for an individual account or a business account. And if you're registering for a business account, you will need additional documentation, and that's documentation pertaining to your company's proof of address as well as your company's registration documents. So have those scanned and ready to upload so that when you get to that part on the registration form, you can simply upload them. And just to quickly answer the question that was asked, the difference between an agent and a merchant account, that details basically the the level at which you will be able to get rewards from the people whom you have referred on the system. So when you are registering, you'll need to provide a SWIFT ID of the person who has referred you, and that person will therefore, depending on whether what kind of registration they have, they will earn a certain commission on your registration. So over and above that, once you have captured all the updated the form, the registration form, you will have registered. You will be issued with a SWIFT ID of your own, and just keep note of your login credentials that you would have created during the registration process. You will need to also be aware that your account will be in a pending state, which means on the Swifin platform, you'll have limited functionality. However, as soon as your registration is approved, then you'll have full functionality on the platform. Over and above, I need to highlight that when your account is in a pending state, you are still eligible to receive the monthly 6.2 Lumi stimulus. Um, so you don't have to worry about missing out on that. So without any further ado, welcome aboard.
Now, we are advised that we should empower ourselves after you have registered. There's some wording that is missing there, but we are advised to do certain courses to empower ourselves, both free, others are at a cost. We promote NetFem, which is a course that is available on the certain platform.
So now my purse doesn't only have 500 Lumi in it because I have been selling my products and my services and my books in Lumi on my website. So go on to the platform and friends know what I sell who are also registered for the class. And I think I said absolutely. I would prefer to save Lumi than any other currency in the world because it's going to continuously increase. So I have hypothermic products. I'm a disease reversal specialist. And so I have products for the reversal of every known disease. These I have developed for probably 20, 30 years. And the basis to this is moringa. So let me give you a little tip there. And then I have books that I have published. They're on Amazon, but I prefer to sell them on the Suffolk platform in Lumi to my friends. So I sell my books I sell my products and I also sell my services.
Now, a showcase of some of the services over and above this particular example we have of Dr. Chong and someone who avails their products in Lumi. I know that there's someone who is not muted, so the sound that is disrupting, kindly please mute. Now, our sister who's joining us, I believe, tonight is running a Wanaka Estate Guest House in Eswatini in Southern Africa, and she is basically offering her foods, breakfast and dinner. Unfortunately, it's available only in fiat, that is in a Malangeni, but accommodation is available for 3.7 AKL per night, which is a very good price. And they are located in Malinza, 7 kilometers away from the King Swati the third International Airport, and those are their contacts. This space will also be used to showcase others who are basically availing Lumi services, partial or full, in your localities. So if you've got somebody who's doing it, please share those notes with us. Does it mean all our problems are now solved? A big no. We still have a lot of work to do to construct multiple livelihood ecosystems in production of food and all sorts of other sectors of society to meet the needs that we have. And importantly, as Sister Noktula is doing and Dr. Chong, avail some of your products and services in Lumi, fully or in partial form. And importantly, no one is coming to do this for us. It is our direct responsibility. We have to do it for ourselves so that we become empowered. An important announcement, a standing invitation to join Her Imperial Majesty each Monday at 6 p.m. South African time. And we are happy to share those Zoom details with you in the chat.
Mr. Mbele. The session was power-packed. I even got my
Hello?
mouth closed.
Hello?
Thank you so
Can I speak?
much. I really, really appreciate it. I feel grateful. This is Big Mbele. One Africa, no poverty, inclusion, and everybody's got opportunity to participate, whether it be growing their own businesses, access to funding. Let's start using this Lumi platform. Let's start using it. Let's not stop talking about it. Let's teach our people. Each and every member of our families must have this. Each and every person must have this. We must drive this. One Africa. Hi man. No,
Thank you, Palisa. I hope you could be joining us tonight. We will not do any demonstration of the Swift platform. We'll do it only if there's a question related. Thank you very much. Our presence on social media is in Africa Lumi Digital Currency on Facebook, and we are also on YouTube, Vanto Vanto Lumi or Hunyana, and we also have Lumi Africa, whose I think we tempered with the coloring and it's not appearing, but Lumi Africa is also offering the next important stages of making Lumi work for you. And I believe that we'll probably have a word from Lumi Africa tonight. Thank you very much, and I hand back over to you, Lerato.
Thank you so much, Moa. Thank you for that insightful presentation, as always. I think at this point,
I
I
want
will
to ask a question.
open the floor for a question. Yes, Dr. Pastor Thomas.
Yeah. 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 Thank you so much, my brother. I'm so happy to be part of this uh, Lumi currency that let it will work for Africa. It will work for Africa. I want to know if you're not doing business, that's my one question. If you're not doing business, would you join Lumi? Number two, would the $10,000 that will be given to those who join, is it free, or those who have been there or those who have business will be given that money to, or when they join it, or it's going to be a repayable money?
Okay, thank you for that question. I see you are going through, you are driving and you're going through some dead spots, but I think your question, Pastor Thomas, is the stimulus, is it free to everybody and over and above the credit line, the 10,000 equivalent US dollars? Is it money that will be given to everybody? So, Mo, do you want to speak to that?
Yes, I am happy to speak to it. The stimulus is meant for every African who is registered on the SWIFT platform, and I believe there's also equivalent of 10,000 that is only issued to those whose accounts are of business and they are approved. And this is a loan that is payable, but the stimulus is not payable. But I'm going to encourage that some of our leaders who are in the platform should share in helping us respond to questions. I am going to pause there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mo. Um, I think over and above, I'm just gonna ask if Dr. Chong, if you can make some remarks there.
Certainly. Thank you so much. It's so exciting to be a part of this summit and to just give clarity to how Africans and persons of African descent across the world can take back control of all their resources and regain our sovereignty in the earth. The Lumi is one of these things. And in reference to the last question, every person who has any account gets the 6.26 stimulus. So, for instance, I had 4 accounts, I now have 3, but each account gets the 6.26 each month. The individual account, the business account, the merchant account, and the agent account. That's the first thing. Now, the 10,000 US is also available. Everything is just showing you equivalence. It is in Lumi that it is paid. And that is paid to assist you in building your business from scratch. However, or if you are currently in a business and you need some additional funds to move it ahead, then you are eligible. It's a no interest loan that must be paid back by the end of the uh, distribution of the stimulus, which is in October 2023. So bear that in mind. It's a stimulus for business development. However, there is no point taking that stimulus unless we have already developed trading in the Lumi locally and then internationally in order to benefit from it. Because one of the things that we need to keep mentioning whenever we introduce anybody to the Lumi is that at this point, until it is internationally established with all the other financial agencies, it must not be, it cannot be exchanged for any other currency. Cannot be exchanged for any other currency. So don't introduce anyone to the Lumi without giving them that information. It's pivotal so that we don't get embroiled in, can I change it? You may not change your Lumi to any other currency until it is widely traded amongst ourselves. Currently, I need to mention that the Lumi is being traded amongst ourselves in 160 countries. That is the number of countries that have received Lumi stimulus, the 6.26, across the world. So the 10,000 stimulus is available to merchants, businesses, and agencies for business development purposes. I will hold there and hope I've answered your question.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Chong. And I think without taking away the mic from you, I want to say if you have any other presentation you want to make, I'll give the floor over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to thank everybody on the call for being here, because it means that you are interested in being a part of the freedom movement of Africa from those who would want to enslave us and benefit from our resources. The purpose of this whole movement is to bring us back into the control of all our resources. And the three areas that we need to start taking control of are: one, our media, which is what controls the mindset of those who listen to media and communication. Two, our health, which is that which is given to us by our Creator in order to make wealth. And of course, if we are going to make wealth, then we have to also be in control of our financial systems. And so this is how we plan to lay the foundation for the advancement and usage of the Lumi among persons of African descent across the globe. It has already been distributed into over 160 countries. And within those countries, our first responsibility is to find out who within that country has been registered and are receiving Lumi, so that we can establish a database on how we can trade among ourselves. I have been told by those who know who they have registered that we have persons in every echelon of society and in every known business registered for the Lumi. We have persons in manufacturing. We have persons in all the service industries, doctors, lawyers, dentists, everybody in the health industries. We have persons registered. We have persons who are registered in the fields of commerce and industry, the provision of food, clothing, shelter, all registered. It is when we start to trade among ourselves that we will be able to build our capacities to use the Lumi and to benefit from it. There is no benefit in using our Lumi to buy products produced outside of our situation. And so our first responsibility is to empower ourselves to become productive. And so once you have received your first intervention of Lumi, we have designed a program of moving you from where you are to the place where you become a producer of goods and services that you can use to trade in the Lumi. So we have designed a course called the National and Community Transformation Program by Families. The purpose of this program is to take back the three areas that I mentioned before. We are here on this summit taking back the media, because it is through the media that we get information, and it is through the media that we get empowerment and the establishment of mindsets. That means, what do you believe? What do you think is possible? How are you empowered to move forward in this great quest that has been 600 years in the making? And we are joined in the state of the African diaspora, in ECO6, and in the African Kingdoms Federation by the brightest and best minds on the planet. Yesterday, I was listening to a program that said there are over 3 million doctors from Nigeria in the US alone. And in fact, one of my researches from in the 80s and 90s showed me that every invention on earth was made originally by a person of African descent. How did I find that out? Whenever there was a Nobel Peace Prize winner, I would research that person and find out who else is in their organization. What is their source of information for which they got the Nobel Peace Prize? And I found out in every situation there was a person of African descent in their organization who had given them the information. And that includes space travel, marine travel, just about everything. Every product on earth was first created by a person of African descent. And so we have to get back to that place of productivity where we are willing to stop purchasing items made by any other person who has taken our technology and is using it for the benefit of themselves alone. So the media we have to take back in terms of communication. And this is why this platform has so many different areas. You can reach them on Facebook, you can reach them on all the different media platforms. And you individually have to pass on through your media opportunities all the information that you are getting here so that we can make others know that we already have started on the process. And in fact, we have already won, but we have to move through the different steps to get there. This is a prophecy, a world prophecy, that the people of African descent shall return to their original glory, and we have to take one step at a time, putting the foundations in place. And this is why we're working with media, health, and the financial system. So moving on to the health system. The second, after we do that, we have to start with getting our health back. Now, if we are going to depend
on the health systems of the Western world, we will continue to be sick. Every locality has been blessed with whatever is needed to keep the persons in perfect health, and it all comes from the ground. And each locality has different modalities because different localities require different modalities for keeping one's health and returning to one's health. Everything comes from the ground. All healing comes from the ground, and all wealth comes from the ground. And so we have put together a program, as I mentioned, the National and Community Transformation Program by Families, for bringing each individual and each family into wealth before we look at the community and then the nation, because we have to build the foundations first. So the NatFam program starts with family health, and you are taught how to use whatever is growing wild in your natural locality to bring yourself and your family back to health. I have been fortunate to have been trained in the area of molecular medicine and psychiatry and disease reversal protocols. Although my training started in the Western hemisphere modalities, I quickly realized that they cannot bring health. And so I reverted to biblical health using the background of Genesis chapter 1, verse 29, which outlined how we can operate to regain the use of our own stem cells to heal ourselves. It is the area of immunology. And so that is what is taught in the first class, how you can bring back your health, the health of your children from asthma and whatever else, and the health of your seniors from Alzheimer's and other created conditions that would, in the present time, afflict or seniors, children, women, men. The course also trains you how to deal with viruses of every sort, AIDS, Ebola, and anything else that is categorized as a virus. How the immune system can totally reverse those situations. So we need to move from what we have been taught in Western medicine back to our original. And each nation or region has different modalities that work. We have so many healing things that we have more than people in the earth. So that's the media that we have handled, and then that's the health that we have handled in the first class. The second class shows us how to get from the ground all the resources, and there are 5 areas that we concentrate on. 1, seed gardens. Every family, every person needs to have a seed garden, and we show you exactly how to do that within 1 week. After that, we also show you how to plant food forests so that once we have control of our water, our food, then we can go on to producing our own value added products so that we do not give away our value added product or raw materials to others, but we are taught from a home perspective, what we call cottage industries, how to develop in each family the capability to move all the available raw materials into value added products for the family first. And once we have done that, then we will be able to make a vital contribution to the import substitution of the nation. But that is not the end, because we now have to learn how to control our financial system. The gift of this stimulus by itself will not help your financial situation if it is not utilized properly. Because we know of persons who have come into riches and are still poor, because it is the utilization of the resources that we have that will make us wealthy or not. And so part of this course will be looking at the financial empowerment. We are teaching financial intelligence. We are teaching how, for instance, one of our programs is how to make the farming communities the wealthiest and healthiest sector in each nation. That's one of the programs that we do on the NatFam training. So if you are a farmer, or you are just a backyard farmer, or a house herb farmer, we can show you how to use that capacity to move into value added products and to become the wealthiest sector. If we are looking at biblical economics, we will see where all the patriarchs were extremely wealthy, and they were wealthy from the land, whether it was animals or it was food forests. So we teach in that the principles of permaculture and how each family can benefit from this. So our initial thing is to bring everybody back to the land. And then you can branch out and look at other areas that you may have interest in the arts, in the craft industries, in the big manufacturing industries. We are now looking at each country and their capacity to make motor vehicles, cell phones, etc. And all of this is in the making, but we have to start at the basics where each family develops their legacy. So the first thing after getting the first stimulus is to register each person for the National and Community Transformation Program. It is free, Lumi, and it is done on the Swiffin platform. And for those who are merchants or agencies or businesses, and you are registering other persons, kindly note that the registration, it is not the registration that brings in the payment. It is the inflow and outflow of funds into the account of the person you have registered that brings what I call a commission. a payment from the platform. So when you register persons for the Lumi, and this is just for those who are agents and merchants and are in that capacity, every person you register, there is a payment made to the person who did the registration. The same applies when they make a when they make a purchase of anything. So whenever they get their money from the Civilian platform, the original stimulus, you get a small commission. And whenever they register for the NatFam program, you also get the same percentage in commission. So there are advantages in selling the program of registration along with the NatFam program, so that persons immediately on getting their first stimulus register for this program. Our plan is to start the workshops in August, and so we want as many people registered and watching the videos, at least video number one, so that in August they will be carried through the whole program with our master trainer, MP for Jamaica, Mrs. Donnet Winter, who is an amazing example and disciple. She has all her children in businesses, income generating businesses, long before they're teenagers. And she also has her space, which is not big by African. It's just a yard. And she produces everything in her yard and has established manufacturing on just what is produced there, and also a market, a Lumi market, where other persons who have products, just you may grow yams in your yard or peppers or what have you, and there is sale among the local persons. So she will be our master trainer who has been there and done that and has been doing this for quite a while, even before the Lumi. So I'm going to stop here in my presentation now, because I wanted to see what questions there may be relating to. And I have a very special guest who will be coming on, and I think I see him on. However, he is the person who did the Lumi platform for SOAD, and we have the Lumi marketplace where persons can go on and will be able to go on come the beginning of August. And it's just a powerful marketplace, which he will explain. But in the interim, we need to get persons on the Swifting platform, and we need to get local trading going amongst ourselves. I think I'll just take a break there so that I can answer any questions that may be there. Thank you very much.
Uh, Thank you so much, Dr. Chong. I'm just looking through the chat, and I see most of the questions that are in there are around the merchant account and the agent account. And I think I have answered the question on how to, but I see we still have need to clarify that a little bit. So uh,
Uh, uh,
Would you like
uh,
me to ask
uh,
Mr. Theo?
sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I
My
wanted to
guest
ask a
can answer
question.
those questions.
okay, So I think that would be really great, Dr. Chong, if you could ask him to speak to it. Just before he starts speaking, can we ask Dr. Chong, you can introduce him. And just before that, Pastor Thomas, you had a question?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Listen, kill it to Dr. I don't know her name. I'm so happy for his narrative, narrative that he gave to us and about Lumi, and that is my it's rather funny that we come this time, but I really want. Also, rather unfortunate that we had this pandemic that is not making us to meet physically, but that also will be actually good for a physical conference, just like what she was saying, a physical conference, because I get that in my country here, I think I am the only person. So I'm happy, I'm privileged to be part of Lumi Currencies. And I think I can able to introduce it in Sierra Leone. I will still speak with mom about we will still speak so that I can not better understanding. But I really want the physical meeting to be actually possible so that we can able to gain more knowledge because establishing we're talking about one currency and it has been a long time that Africa is borrowing. We have become a borrower. We are no longer we have tired borrowing. If we cannot borrow, they cannot give us. And before we borrow, the condition they lay on us, eh, as if you borrow and become a slave to them again. And the white people who have the power, who have the money, they are suppressing the blacks so that the Africa so that they cannot rise and meet to the global standard of economic millennium economic. But if we also can able to produce of our own resources, produce our own food, produce our
Agreed.
own crops, we can able to overtake the European market,
Yes, I do agree,
the Latin
Pastor.
Yeah,
American
may I speak to that?
market.
Uh,
And so that's all my question that I want to say.
yeah, thank you so much for that question and comment, Pastor Thomas. Dr. Chong,
Yes. Thank you so much, Pastor Thomas. Did you say you were the only person in your country? What country is that?
Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone, West Africa.
No, no, no. You're not the only person. I have several people who have bought things
Really?
from. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is where our
Really?
problem is.
Wow.
This is where our problem is. Because what is happening is because of the pandemic, the communication systems, because people are not meeting together. For instance, is your church not meeting together? Pastor
No, no,
Thomas,
we're not meeting together at all.
you are not meeting at all.
Yeah, no, church is closed. Church is closed.
Oh, okay. So how do you communicate with your parishioners?
It's Zoom meeting.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Because what I would want to show you is one, how to register as an agency today,
Uh,
and then after that, you are going to register by Zoom all your people who have smartphones or who can, and then you train them, a group of them, to use
oh,
their computers to go out and register your whole congregation, right? Now,
okay.
that will require that you go into physical localities and do it with persons who don't have smartphones. But all of that can be worked
I don't get
out
money.
with
I don't
more.
get.
Okay? That's number one.
Sugar.
Number two, I have pastors in different parts of Africa who go into the villages and teach the persons how to plant vegetables and everything they need to eat in feed bags. You know, those feed bags, you just put dirt into the bag and have them all around your home, inside, outside, even if you don't have any yard space. And churches are doing that because there's a special program just for churches to make churches income generating, just
Right,
like the
right,
families are income generating. Now,
right, right.
you spoke about loans. This is the first thing that we do because we do not want you to be dependent on anybody else.
Right.
We are asking you to stop all loans, even if it is offered to you. Do not take a grant because
Okay.
every grant comes with a opportunity for them to poison us and enslave
Uh,
us. The
uh,
word of God says that the borrower is slave to the lender. The day you stop borrowing, and this is a personal thing, this is a individual thing, this is a family thing, this is a business thing, this is a church thing, this is a national thing. The day you stop borrowing from anyone outside of your nation, you will be free. Not only free, but the day you stop borrowing, you break the bondage of slavery. And the next day, you start reaping the benefits of freedom. I am talking within 24 hours. And this is the hardest bondage to break. So that I do not recommend, even for those in SOAD, the borrowing of anything, not even from SOAD. If you need it, take it. But I do not recommend it because God has given us everything that we need for life and godliness. We kick it aside and go and borrow from those who want to enslave and poison us. So that is so important. It is the pivotal thing. This is why we need to learn how to use all the things that God has given us freely. So we don't need a loan to develop a seed garden. You don't need a loan to develop a food forest. I am fortunate in that I grew up in a family. My father was an elder, and we lived by that principle all our lives. So it's easy for me, but it is not easy for those who have always had loans because we were taught save towards what you want and deposit and just go on. We bought all our motor vehicles. Had my first motor vehicle at age 18. I bought my first piece of land at age 19. I bought my first house at 20 because I had been an entrepreneur from I was a child. And that is how what we are trying to teach now through the NatFam program. We have children in the program now who have companies. We have children in the program who are following that protocol. And this is what we want to introduce. All my life, I bought everything cash. Businesses, my whatever, because it's a principle that if you follow God's way, He will supernaturally multiply because you're using His principles. I hope I've answered that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Cheryl. I think now you can just introduce your guest and if they can just speak to the different.
Actually, may I ask a question? But I don't know how to put my hand up, so I'm very
Okay,
sorry.
no worries. T?
Yeah, the question was to Minister Chung. Now, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak, first of all. You've made reference to the merchant account and the agent account. Now, I've already registered as an individual, but I'm not quite sure how to become an agent. And I did attempt to start a new registration application. I've been through the process and I do not see where agent or merchant is.
Okay, my guest will speak to those. My guest will speak to those because he is a expert on the Swift account,
Okay.
and he has all of those answers. So I'm going to ask my guest, who is the Honorable Theo Walker, who has just been resource for me and he's an entrepreneur. He is a man of wisdom, and he has been involved in marketing guru. I mean, you name it. Whenever I need anything, he's my go-to person. I just go and I ask him any question about anything, and I always have a great answer. So over to you now, Mr. Theo Walker.
I am still driving. Can you all hear me clearly?
Yes, we can.
Hello?
Yes, we can.
Oh, that's beautiful. Uh, First thing is that, Cheryl, you've done a fantastic job in your presentation. Very informative and a lot needs to be done. The first thing we need to understand that Amazon is the largest online shopping mall, or the largest shopping mall on Mother Earth, Amazon. Everyone purchases from Amazon. What we did, we created Lumi Marketplace, which is a mini Amazon. And because of the fact that Amazon has very high prices and you do business at Amazon, we created Lumi Marketplace so anyone, any African descendant will be able to put their product and Lumi Marketplace and sell it just like Amazon. We need to also come to the conclusion that Africa is the largest, one of the largest continents on Mother Earth. And if everyone bought from each other of ourselves, we will take a big market share away from Amazon and into the most important market will
I do apologize to interject there. I seem to have a lot of background noise coming from your side. Do you, if you can close the window or something, because I understand you're driving.
what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to pull over because maybe it's the speed that I'm driving. Okay.
All right.
Is that better?
Ah, yeah, sounds better.
Okay. As I said, Lumi Marketplace is a mini Amazon where we will help teach you how to put your product on Amazon. I mean, on Lumi Marketplace, how to package your products because packaging is very important. The labels you have in your product, the ingredients, the look, the feel is very, very important, and we will help you with that. Also, how do you market and promote your products is very important also because you're not asking people to buy new products. You're asking your family, your brothers, your sisters, your uncle, your teachers, your doctor, people that you know, try this product. Tell me how it works. And once they buy from you, people that you know, then they want to tell their friends, their family, their associates, and that's how the domino theory spreads. So don't be afraid to really approach your brother wife, your niece husband, your uncle wife, your uncle daughters and children. You have an entire market at your fingertips of people who knows you. You don't have to go outside looking for new customers. They're all within your own family. You know, your your husband, your boyfriend, you might spell it, but your ex-boyfriend, your ex-girlfriend, their family, they, you know, That's the domino theory. And with Lumi Marketplace, you collect Lumi. I have another company called Carib Store. Carib Store is only fiat. You only get fiat money from that, not Lumi. So therefore, we're going to put you both on Lumi Marketplace, where you get Lumi, and we're going to put you on Carib Store, where you can get US dollars, Canadian dollars, whatever you want. So now you have two markets that you're able to market and promote your product on. And that will start the first week in August. Right now, we are testing everything. We're making sure everything is right. But come August, we will show you how to go online, open, open an account, products, this products. Also, in Carib Store, I have an app, a mobile app. It means that anyone around the world can download the app to the phone and shop a product without even going to the website. We are now building a mobile app for Lumi Marketplace, and that should be ready in 3 weeks. So for the first time now, you have two apps that you can give to people. Just download this app to your phone. And once they download it to the phone, we can now send promotion. You can send promotion to the phone. Saying, hey, Christmas, Mother's Day, Christmas, we're having this big sale, this promotion. Now you have all the marketing tools at the fingertips.
Excuse me, Phil. May I interject here? Could you address the question of how to register and who can register for an agent and a merchant and a business, and just do the three of them and all the requirements for each, because it is my intention that everybody who registers for an individual must also go on and register for one of the others, so that they can, go ahead.
And anyone at this point who have a personal account can also create a business account, an agency account. The business account, you might need to upload some type of registration to prove that you are a business. But I'm almost positive, because the rules was changed, that agent account give the same privilege. You can open that up without one of those requirements. I am not sure if it was changed, yes or no, but I will find out for you and bring up today. But you can definitely create both accounts, both a business and a personal account, but a personal account must be first.
Thank you, Theo. Thank you. I think we're going to come back to you probably with another question. However, if you go on the Swiffin platform to attempt to register for anything and you're having a challenge, do not submit what you have done. There is at the top left hand a help desk, which is manned 24/7. And you just go to the help and put in your question, and they will get back to you within 24 hours. In fact, I was just speaking with the person who manages the help desk around the world, and he told me that their current time is within the hour that they will get back to you. And I have tested it, and it has been so. So if you're having a challenge while you're on the Swiffin platform, and please bear in mind that every day we are upgrading the Swiffin platform. So I was trying to get on a few days ago, and I couldn't get on because they were upgrading. And then they came back on for a few hours, and then they came off to upgrade again. So remember that we are in a process of growth. And so we have to be very patient and just follow the steps that you have been given so far. most people want to run, trade, buy, and sell before they have adjusted their health, their mindsets, and their wealth capacities. And so that is where we are trying to bring everybody back down to that place where you lay the foundations before you try and do all the other stuff. So I don't know if there are any other questions. Back over to you. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much to everyone, Sir Theo, Dr. Chong. I think at this point we are a little bit over time. So I just want to ask for closing remarks. And I'll ask Dr. Chong your closing remarks, then more. If you can do your closing remarks, then we'll adjourn the call.
Thank you very much. Well, all I have to say is thanks to everybody. We have gone through a lot of information today. And what you can do is to make sure you avail yourself of the copy, of the recorded copy of this. And wherever you came on from, it should be posted on those sites as well. Also, register to be a part of this group. The information will be given to you by our host so that you can continue in the process of laying the foundation. Thank you, because each one is an important part of the process of regaining control over all our assets and regaining our sovereignty as people of African descent. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chong. More?
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Chong, for gracing our meeting. We appreciate the attendance and everyone who stayed with us. And all I can say, can we get new people into this movement? Can we orientate and lay the correct foundations? And as we said last time, we are having a reconfiguration of how we work. We will have people entering at our level. We'll also help them graduate into the pipeline until they're able to achieve the amazing things that Dr. Chong has spoken about. Thank you and good evening, everyone. Good day, good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you so much, Moa. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining the session this day, this evening. We really do appreciate your time. We will post the recording as soon as it has finished clearing. So we'll post that recording. So we do appreciate your time and good evening and to everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.